The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. Thank you for joining me again this lovely Friday here on Long Island. When we talk about our code, we talk about choice, organization, direction, and education. Some of the things we talk about is income for life, protecting your assets with life insurance, long-term care insurance. We've talked a whole month about that, about the importance of that and how to plan and how to reallocate your assets. And today, as we enter into the next year, 2022, and we're doing our tax planning and everything else, now's the time to really plan and really think about where we're going next year and this year. And what I found is with COVID, and it's still here, you know, our jobs have changed. I know my son is now, his company's working fully remote and is going to remain that way. And I know that with a lot of people where they're not having as much face-to-face interaction. They're working remote. Our children have been in the house. That's put some stress on families and people on how we work and how we're moving forward. And I find a lot of people have sat on the sidelines waiting for it to end so they can make plans. Well, it's not ending so quickly. I think you need to integrate this new digital revolution with your plans. And I talk about this with my kids too. You know, my kids are very digital, very computer literate. And if I could give any advice to parents today, this is where the economy has gone and we're here. So if your kids are at home and you're wondering, you know, what direction to go in, whether they're right before college or they're in grade school, please embrace the technologies that we have today, because that has taken over everything, the stock market, everything that we do. Just a word to the wise about technology. And my business has certainly changed dramatically, where it's not as much face-to-face interaction. It's on the computer through Zoom or telephone, but there's still that face-to-face interaction is decreased. So, you know, everybody's lives has been adjusted and will continue to adjust. And are you prepared for the next thing? Some of the other things that have occurred within the last 3 years that we notice is there's been a lot more disability claims. People going on long-term disability. And I want to go into disability quite a bit more today because I think it's very important. Disability insurance, what does it cover? Disability insurance protects your income so that, you know, you have health insurance that'll pay your health bills, but at the end of the day, if you become disabled, and it's not necessarily from a ski accident, it could be a mental situation. Or as I was talking to the producer before the show, what if he lost his voice and couldn't talk on the radio? He would be technically disabled, not able to perform his job. And what happens if you can't perform your job for more than 3 or 4 months? Do you have enough assets to protect yourself and to protect your income and to protect your family? So that's where disability insurance comes in. Now, disability insurance, if you're a small business owner, very interesting. Yes, you want to insure your income that's coming in, but what do you do with if you become disabled and you're the business and you're the driver and you can't come into work? Who's going to pay your employee salaries, rent, or anything else? There is a specific disability policies that will pay your employees, your rent, all your overhead, maybe for 2 years. And what does that do for you? Okay? That buys you time while you're getting better, whether you want to sell your business or whether you're going to merge or do something else. The absolute worst time to sell your business or to disband your business is when you have to, because then you have no leverage, you have no value, but you also want to keep your employees paid and the lights on, and you need to keep your business running even if you can't be there. That's what this does. So what we're seeing is a lot of long-term haulers for COVID that's taking place. We're seeing a lot of mental and nervous claims as people are cooped up and dealing with a new way of dealing with family and life. There's a lot of frustration out there. There's a lot of divorce out there. There's a lot of mental illness out there. There's a lot of, we talked last week about Alzheimer's and dementia. As we get older, we're seeing more and more of that. So when you're sitting and planning, this is something you have to plan for more than anything about the possibilities of what if I can't earn my living or my spouse doesn't have her living. How does that affect your lifestyle? Does everything change? Do you lose your house? Do you lose your business? What happens if you become disabled? Now, in the past, it was mostly doctors, attorneys. They all were big purchases of disability insurance, and they didn't have things for certain occupations. Disability is occupation-driven and salary-driven. Let's say you're a landscaper or you're a contractor. They now have policies. It's crazy. They'll pay you 1 year lump sum up to $100,000 if you become disabled. I mean, wouldn't that be, I'm sorry, what a horrible thing if you can't work or you can't do what your job is, and you get a check for $100,000 to last you out for the year so you can pay your expenses, so you can readjust, so you can get back involved into doing something else that doesn't require you to do maybe physical labor or something else that would deter you from becoming disabled. Now, most disability policies will pay you after 90 days of being disabled. After you've had a disability after 90 days, that's considered a long-term disability where you can't perform your occupation. So usually it's a 90-day waiting period. So during that time, you're going to need some doctor verification of your disability, whether it's mental, nervous, or physical, and you're not going to get better, and it's going to stretch out for 6 months, a year, or after 90 days. You want to prepare yourself and get yourself involved in those claims. So I think it's very important. They also have disability insurance. If you are buying and selling a business, or you have a partner and you're doing a buy-sell agreement, and so few people do this, one of the things you want to protect is you want to protect yourself with life insurance if your partner, passes away. And what the death benefit would do was pay off, let's say, your partner's spouse, so that you would fully own the business. Or if your partner became disabled, what happens if your business partner becomes disabled? Their family still needs a salary. There's specific disability insurance for that. Okay, so that you can protect your income, you can protect your partner's income, you can protect your business. So important. It's so important that disability insurance is part of your plans. If your advisor is not talking about disability insurance, not talking about protecting your business or protecting yourself in case that you need something, you need to call Main Street Planning Group, you need to call us, and we will help your advisor, we'll help you, we'll help your attorney. You need to address these plans as part of your everyday planning for next year, for this year. So important, especially with COVID. There's been a lot of long-term disability claims, something we need to think about. You're listening to Code for Main Street Success or Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. I can be reached at 631-647-4694, or you can always visit me on my website at mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com. Neil Himmelstein, 631-647-4694. We're going to be back right after a few minutes commercial break. Thank you. Welcome back to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein, and I hope you're enjoying the show. We encourage people to call with any questions at 631-647-4694. Whether you're starting a job, you've been in a job, you're retired. We do planning, and we help other financial professionals across the country who reach out to us for advice on insurance matters. Mostly they talk about life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care, and we do a lot with fixed annuities and income for life with insurance products and annuity products. Very, very important in our planning. Before the break, we talked about disability insurance and the importance of having something in case you get sick or become disabled, that you have money coming in to pay the mortgage, to pay the rent. Matter of fact, one of the statistics, a big statistic, is most foreclosures of people's homes occur because the main money winner can't work. It's amazing, but that's the problem. If you become disabled, your salary stops. And I like to compare it to having a machine in your basement. If you had a machine in your basement and all it did was print dollar bills, and that's all it did, what a great machine to have. We'd all have one of those, right? Would we oil it? Yes, I think we would. Would you maintain it? Yeah, if it's printing dollars. Well, that's what we are. I mean, we're creating income, and if we can't create those dollar bills, where's that money going to come from? So I like to tell people that think of yourselves as that money machine. And if that money machine's broken, the whole family breaks down. So it's so important that disability insurance gets reviewed with any of your plans. And if you have a small business, you're so vulnerable, not just for your house and family, but also for your business. In order to protect your business, there are specific disability programs that can protect it, whether it's for what they call your business overhead, or you personally, or your partner, or your retirement funds. Disability is a key component that often gets overmixed. Now, I have one other, I'm going to call it a complaint. It's not a complaint. It's what I'm seeing out there in the marketplace. I see a lot of people that are sitting and waiting for things to happen, whether it's tax changes or whether it's COVID, or when's it going to end? I'm going to do this. And they stop preparing for themselves. It's so important that as you're going over your taxes and as you're going over your insurance, that you make sure that you are prepared. I was working with an agent this morning who reached out to me. Their client has done a lot of preparation with an attorney and this and that, and they have 5 or 6 term insurance policies. They're now in their 70s. They're all coming to an end. None of them are convertible to a quality contract or aren't convertible to a permanent contract, and they have health issues now. And now they've lost their flexibility to have something that'll last their lifetime. They still want the insurance and they still need it for estate tax planning and everything else, but that's going to go away. And they've paid money into this for years and years and years, and it's going to go away because they did not review their policies. In doing the right thing and buying insurance at the right time, they did not consult an insurance professional after buying these products, and that is a problem because now he's had a heart attack, he's had, heart issues, and he's had cancer issues, and she's had this issue, and he's had that. So now they're kind of stuck in the mud a little bit. And I find this every day, 7 days a week. People fail to plan. They'll buy something to appease somebody or do something, and they'll put it on the shelf, and they don't know what they're buying. And I talk about this all the time. On the radio, on TV, you have hundreds of commercials coming at you. This is cheaper, that's cheaper, buy this term, buy this insurance, protect yourself. If you're buying term insurance online, it is detrimental because you need to know, does that thing convert? Just because it's the cheapest price doesn't mean it's going to pay out at death or when you need it for a living benefit. And we talk about living benefits all the time. Disability we've been talking about. If you're concerned about becoming disabled, as you should be, because it happens. Life does not go in a straight line. Things happen in life. If you're concerned and you have a life insurance policy, one of the things you can do is you can buy a disability waiver that'll waive all the premiums of your life insurance policy so your policy is protected. I know people that do this with whole life insurance and they become disabled. They never have to pay again, and they have this big cash growing investment that they don't have to pay for because they were disabled, because they had a disability rider in their whole life, which is a big cash policy, not a term policy, a cash policy, and they had this disability waiver. So the insurance company is paying every year into this thing, and it's accumulating dividends and cash on a tax-free basis. Oh my goodness. You listen to people like Susie Orman who say, whole life's a bad investment. Well, if you have a disability waiver in whole life and you become disabled and you have somebody else paying those premiums and building cash and you have that protection and you're disabled and you're 30 or 40 and you've done this when you're a child, what a wonderful thing. What a great thing to have. So I encourage everybody, build your financial team. Have an insurance professional in your financial team, not just a stock picker, not just an accountant, not just an attorney. You need to build a team. If you need help building a team, we're certainly here to help you. But if you don't have team members, get a team. It's so important. The stock market goes up. It certainly goes down. You look at the last 2 weeks. You have 3 bad days, 1 good day. Once you're retired, when you're young, it's great. You're investing. You're in it for the long haul. Maybe you could have blinders on. I think there's a lot of day traders out there. But, as you retire and everything else, you can't afford a market downfall. You can't afford a market, all of a sudden the market's out, and that's all you have, and you have no protection. So life insurance is an important asset to have. Disability insurance, as you're working and earning an income, is a huge component to have. Long-term care insurance, as you get near retirement or even in your 40s and 50s, you should start thinking about protecting that in case you have a long-term care event. Long-term care, we've been talking about all month long. It's so prevalent. Last week, we talked about Alzheimer's, how it lasts for 9 years, how our mental capabilities do over time. Let's face it, our brain is an organ like everything else. It's not meant to last for 200 years. So when it has a decay, when it has a problem, all the things kind of fall with that, and that creates a long-term event that in life insurance, that health insurance is not going to pay for. Medicare is not going to pay for that. You're going to have to dig into your own pockets. And not only that, you're going to have family members help you and or a facility help you. Nobody wants to be a burden. Nobody wants that on their ledger to have that occur. So please reach out It's not a matter of cost. It's a matter of reallocating and repositioning your assets to get the right things to be prepared for every eventuality. For every eventuality. Listen, I want to be sitting on the beach not thinking about this stuff. But you have to plan. And you have to plan on a regular basis. And you have to have your plans reviewed because insurance companies have changed dramatically over the years. Products change. Events change. Our lives change. Right now, we're going through a major change. I don't care who you are. This last 2 years has been tremendously impactful. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. You can reach me at 631-647-4694. You're listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. Or visit me on my website at mainstreetplanninggroup.com if there's anything you want me to talk about, or if you have a personal situation or your advisor has any questions whatsoever, please reach out to us. Have a wonderful day and a terrific weekend.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.